And welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Donna Newman-Bluestein, and she's from Audubon LLC. Donna, it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you, Errol. It's so nice to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Well, I actually have two businesses.
Okay, great.
So the overarching business is called Dance for Connection.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my main thing. I want to help people connect.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I bring dance as a form, a method, a medium for people to connect, and I bring music, props, a sense of humor, play, to get people to engage and connect. And in order to do that, with people who were less able to connect, I created the Octoband. So Octoband is a prop that has 8 or 16 or 24 legs, and it's made out of spandex and it's stretchy and it helps people connect. And this is what one looks like.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
yes.
people hold on to one end and somebody holds on to another. We can feel, because it's stretchy, we can feel the connection between us.
Absolutely.
And then there are loops at the end for holding on, so that if you pull really hard, you really get to feel the connection, but you don't get disconnected by dropping.
That's beautiful. Well, I like that concept because you can probably have like 8 people sitting in a circle, and each person grab a section of it to pull, and there's a rotation. There's a circuitry of connection, so to speak, and the symbol of circuitry, if you look at it from a more spiritual standpoint, it really represents life. It talks to the inner person's desires and how they conceptualize things. They may not be speaking it. And I know you mentioned this works well for dementia people. And that is something we would like to talk about this morning. Because many people today don't understand the importance of, or how to connect to people who suffers from dementia. There's always a weird outlook of how they perceive that person, that they're stupid and they're not cautious to what's going on. And that's far from the truth.
That's the truth.
Yeah. So tell us, just go into it a little bit more that the audience can understand the importance of the Autobahn that they would hold and pull and so forth, and other means that you would deploy to a dementia setting that would enable people to function better within their own atmosphere.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to speak about this. So many people think that people with dementia have nothing. There's no one home. The lights are on, but no one's home, is what I hear. But it's not true. There's always someone home. As long as they're breathing, there's someone home.
Absolutely.
I don't know about after. Different home. But our bodies are home as long as we're alive, and there's someone there. So if you don't think that anyone's home, when you ring the doorbell, you'll run away before anybody answers. Mm-hmm. When you try to connect to a person with dementia, if you really try, if you pause, if it's important, if you care and you're curious, there's someone there, and they most often respond. So I am fascinated by what motivates a person to want to connect, to want to come out of their shell. And so that's been my fascination as a dance movement therapist for 45 years. And it's what motivates anyone, someone who's depressed, what motivates people to want to move? Because there's no life without movement. We have to move. And movement gets our immune systems going. It's so good for so many reasons. So I noticed that for some people, they need more attention. So I bring colorful props. I will bring things that have like ribbon wands that have long streamers at the end. They're plastic, and so you can see the movement. What you see now, I'm moving my hand, but if there was a ribbon attached, the movement would go up much further. So the first thing that happens is I offer each person a choice of 6 colors, because that's how they come. And then I get to learn, what color are they motivated by? Do they take it? Do they refuse it? And if they refuse it, that's fine. I'm okay. I'm just going to keep asking. And as long as I'm respectful, I don't get pushed away. It's a respectful interaction. We're interacting, we're connecting. That's my goal. It's not to get them to get up and do a salsa. It's to get them to connect to something outside of themselves, because that also helps them connect inside. So I give them a choice. And I notice this person wants green. They tell me, I like green because I'm Irish. I like green because I went to Dartmouth. Some people choose the same color all the time. I discovered a woman I've been working with for over a year, certainly, maybe a couple of years, once a month. She loves the color blue. I never knew why, but yesterday she told me that when she met her husband, he was wearing blue pants, and that was her favorite color. And so that reinforced her love of that color. Is this important? It is important. It's important to the person. Each of us, our choices are what make us who we are. And I think we're different. If we were meant to be the same, we would all be the same. But we're not. We're all different. So, and I'm fascinated by that. And I want to understand what I can about each person's difference. And I want to make a big deal out of it. What I find is if I make a big deal out of a little thing, the thing begins to blossom and the person begins to blossom. And they'll be telling me things that are really important to them, life and death kinds of things. And that's pretty regular.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%, Donna. For the average person out there that doesn't understand anything about dementia, scientifically it's just basically the frontal lobe of the brain deteriorating. In some people it deteriorates faster than some, and the short-term memory goes with it. However, though, the long-term memory, the knowledge and wisdom that they would have been implanted in them over the years still remains, and that's what you're tapping into. You're re-nurturing that old side of them, that their familiarity that they would have experienced over the years, their favorite colors, the favorite things they like to do. That part of the brain is being stimulated. It brings back memories. And for the average person who doesn't really study dementia or figure what dementia is all about, they wouldn't know that. But they need this kind of thing for their family, their loved ones who are going through dementia issues. They need this kind of activity in their life. When you brought up the idea yesterday to me, I said, well, this is really good. This is really fascinating, because it's more than just playing with a band or an octagon. You are actually re-inspiring a person of their past life. It's coming back real to them. They're feeling things they used to feel. They're seeing the favorite color they used to see. They're understanding things differently in their world that the average man would never understand or be able to know about because they're not living in that world. But believe it, it's affecting them in a positive way, and that's a good dimension that you're going in. One other thing I want to ask you, the music aspect of it, because there are those, again, who don't know much about music therapy. And that plays a vital, important role in dementia's people's life. And that, I mean, is very impactful. So could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So whatever music is important to us, I actually put on an opera yesterday, a little bit of an opera. I didn't mean to, and you responded to it immediately.
Yes.
That made you connect, right? And as a matter of fact, if we had time, I found some music that would probably get you moving.
Wow.
I'll play it for you another time. So the choice of music, what I basically do is I put out a buffet. I see it as a buffet, and the buffet is colorful, and it has sounds, and it's tactile, it's sensory, so that there's something they're going to respond to. Most people respond to music, particularly if it's music that they are familiar with and that they like. Now, most often play music that at least some people will be familiar with and want to sing along with. It's recorded music. If I know what era, I'll play music from when they were about 15 years old or so. If I don't know, then I just play what was familiar in the culture overall. If I know that people come from different cultures, I'll play music from the cultures that they come from. There's always going to be time when there's music that's unfamiliar, that is polyrhythmic, because it makes people want to move. It turns out that it's really important when we move together. We breathe together. You know, when people are in love, they're together and their bodies breathe together. They calm each other and excite each other. Syncopation is really also important, and that's the little minute differences, and that's common in jazz, but it's also turns out that it's really important for maybe making people want to move. So I'll play music that's a lot of times it'll be Latin music or Afro-Caribbean music, also African music, music that they all respond to. It's pretty extraordinary. And I don't care what country they come from. I work with people from Russia, from China, from, anywhere, everywhere. And everyone responds. So yes, music is important. The thing that people miss is the dance part of it, the movement part of it. Because if they just nod along to the music, that's great. But what I know is if you water that, if you nurture that, if you make a big deal out of that, the next thing you know, they will be moving much more of themselves. I am not going to move them. I don't care if I know that they can move and they're not doing it. If it's not connected to their internal motivation, it doesn't matter. A person could be unconscious and you could be moving them. How does that matter? Maybe it doesn't feel good. But if I encourage the movement that is what they want to do, including refusing, next thing I know, they are moving with me. And I'm playing with them. Somebody will say no. I say, okay. And I'll toss a big balloon to them and let them smash the balloon. So they give me a real big no. Because what's important to me is less the connection to their memories than their sense of agency in the moment. They need to know somebody cares. They need to be held in esteem. So, not that I'm better than them and I'm helping them, but that I care. And I know there's somebody in there, and I would really like to know, who are you? What makes you tick? What brings a smile to your face, a tear to your eye? What matters to you? We are all connected. And my life is better if your life is better.
Absolutely. As you go from nursing home to nursing home, you have skilled nursing facilities, independent living, and so forth. Do you see the needs of these residents varies, and do you offer a specific exercise or music maybe to a more cognitive person than those of dementia in a skilled nursing facility?
Good question. So I think the needs are pretty much the same, all human needs. We all need to feel we belong and that we matter. And that's the part that people don't see about dementia. I've even looked at assessment criteria for quality of life of people with dementia, with advanced dementia. And they said that esteem didn't matter because they couldn't feel a sense of esteem. I beg to differ. When a person smashes a balloon, this one happened. When a woman hit the balloon with her head, everyone applauded, and she beamed. That's esteem.
Yes.
It's just as important to me. It's just as important as, I don't know, a banker doing investment things. I think to me that's what really matters. So, but to your point, do I play different music? I play the same kinds of music. I might play music that has, for example, a person's name, like Once in Love with Amy, Always in Love with Amy. But instead of Amy, I'll sing Once in Love with Errol, Once in Love with Mary. So each person's name gets spoken.
Yes.
I will play music that they can sing along to, is more important for people who have dementia, because I want them to breathe. And if I tell them to breathe, I'm often going to get something like this. If they do what I say, which mostly they don't follow my directions anyway. But if they sing, then they're already automatically breathing. This is good. I'm getting them to use their lungs. Sometimes I'll play for people who have dementia. I'll play more marching music. There's something very, I think, reassuring in the marching music. The very simple, but I think they respond to all kinds. And I found I was playing "Be My Love." It was Valentine's week, so I played "Be My Love," and the first place I went to, somebody said, "I don't like that." I said, "Don't worry, I won't play a lot of this kind of music." Then somebody else was singing along. I said, "Do you know this song?" She said, "Yes." So not everybody's not going to like the same things. I will give more options and more choices to people with dementia because they can't initiate. They can't tell me what they want. Whereas people who are cognitively higher functioning could say, "Oh, I like Elvis Presley." Fine, then I know I can find an Elvis Presley song. But many people, even not advanced dementia, even just older adults, can't always find names. What was that? Yeah.
Yeah, one other thing though, so there are most activity assistants I know, in many other places, many other nursing homes, they believe that when a person becomes passive, that's it. They don't hear nothing, they don't know nothing, they just sit there and stare. And it's far from the truth. I believe strongly in mind stimulation. The person may not be able to move their hand anymore because they're probably going through their last phases of life, whatever the case may be. But I believe that the mind is still stimulated by what is here. They may not be able to speak or anything like that. And trying to get them in that place where, if you know what that person like, through their care plan, if they like good music, whether it's slow music, opera, whatever the case may be, that is some music you can play for them as a sensory to stimulate the mind, stimulate the brain, whatever the case may be. What's your take on that?
I think that's what really motivates me to do this work. And I lead trainings, teaching people how to do this. I have a training coming up in April in Westwood. to teach people. It's a 15-hour training teaching people how to bring dance to people with dementia. The dance I talk about is not a choreographed dance. It's improvising. It's the dance of interaction and connection. So when I went from working in a nursing home, pretty much full time, to going into places once a month, what I was surprised by was that they remembered me. And I was told that they had no short-term memory. But it turns out that's not true. Short-term memory for what? They remember people. So they're very good at the social emotional connections. They connect, and sometimes better than anyone else. And they also like to play, which is why I love to work with this population. So passive, the problem is, as you said, and I'm not a neurologist, I don't really know. Actually, dance affects many parts of the brain, more parts of the brain than anything else. Movement does. And music is pretty much the same. Okay, so they connect the parts of our brains. The part that doesn't work, that's even more, to me, more painful than a loss of memory, is the inability to initiate. So they can want to do something, but maybe they can't even do that. Maybe that part, I think the imagery doesn't work so well. They don't have an imagination, or they can't access it. They have it, but they can't access it. When I connect to them, by my connecting to them, now we're connecting, and we're getting parts of the brain to connect that we're not connecting before. When I give them a choice, they don't have to initiate, they simply have to respond. So when they respond, they begin moving. When they begin moving, it's a little bit more of the pathways that are connecting. And then sometimes they can speak, people who don't otherwise speak, or they can share a memory that they otherwise wouldn't have access to. It's just amazing to me that it works. It works. And you spoke earlier about circuitry. So I just want to come back to that and say that very early in my training, I took a biofeedback class where there was the person was hooked up to biofeedback equipment that showed skin response. And what the professor did was he had one person leave the room and told the rest of us, you're going to sit in a circle and we're on the floor, we're all holding hands. The person's going to come in, he's going to be holding hands in the circle, but he's blindfolded. And when I nod to you, I want you and the person next to you to let go of hands. So what happened was when the person came back and the two people disconnected, the brainwaves shot up. And when they reconnected, it was level. He had two people disconnect, same thing. So our connection, that told me that when we are physically connected, that we're affecting one another. And what I thought was, okay, that happens when we're touching, but I'm going to guess that happens maybe not as dramatically, but it happens even if we can't see the person. We're affecting one another all the time. And I believe that we are the medicine, that it's the person, it's our caring, our wanting, our desire to see the person flourish that is part of the nutrients, the most important part of the nutrients. So yes, the music, yes, the dance, yes, the color, yes, the sensory pleasures, all of those. But more important than anything else, it's love.
Absolutely. We're coming down to our last 3 minutes, so could you give any description of where your seminar that you're going to be holding, you said is in March,
It's April, the last weekend
Right,
in
right,
April.
right. The location, how they can contact you for more information. That yeah, you can make all that known now. That even give them your phone number also that you can have people reaching out to you. Yep.
They can reach out to me at donna@danceforconnection.com or donna@octoband.com. I don't give my phone number because I don't want texts. That's just I don't need to be inundated. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I will be training at an assisted living in Westwood, and all the information is on my website. My website is danceforconnection.com, spelled out, no spaces, no caps. And there's an events page, and that's all the events that I lead. Memory cafes where the groups are open to anyone, and people come from different places to come to my and dance in my groups. And the training is in April. April, I think it's the 25th to the 27th. It's 3 hours on Friday night and then all day Saturday, all day Sunday. It's about really much more about the connection between dance and dementia. You don't have to be a wonderful dancer. You just have to enjoy dancing, and you have to want to be with people with dementia. Those are the criteria.
Well, beautiful. Well, we have come to the end of our program. Donna, it was really a pleasure having you on and giving some incitement and education to the public at large, not just only to homes in the communities, but even at nurseries.